Hey, 20 millimeter RPG. Oh, what can we talk about today? So today I'm, reading up the tablet here. Um, Watching RPG streams. So that is my topic du jour. Why should you watch RPG streams? Well, for me, I like to compare game styles, see what I like, what I don't like, what seems to work or doesn't work. Is it exciting? Is it boring? Why is it exciting? Why is it boring? And I look at my own um, streams as well because I want to look at it and kind of reconsider choices that I make, see what works, what doesn't work, right? So when you look at it, I'm looking at time sinks in the gaming. So whether or not it's caused by the virtual tabletop, whether or not virtual tabletop speeds things up or slow things down, more or less is better. Uh, you have to look at it, evaluate it, and see what what is happening. Is your attention span being kept? Like watching it as not as the players, but just looking at the stream and listening to it and going, oh, this is interesting, or oh, this is just a dog's breakfast, one or the other. So a lot of things come up with when you're looking at different streams. What are they using? Like, are they using tokens and maps? Is it just images? Is it look at the character sheets and stuff? Their function? Do they look easy to use? Stuff like that. The dice roller, that's important too. And are they using like a chat box, or is it voice? So I like voice because you can hear everybody, and it doesn't take everybody a long time to type things out or whatever. I mean, Windows 11 and also Apple has some pretty good inbuilt software for tackling voice to type. So when you say something, it types it out for you. That could be helpful if you're just doing chat boxes. But I prefer voice because a lot of times when you're looking at type, you're not getting the right attitude behind the voice. You're not getting 100% of the character. So voice, I prefer a lot more. So when I start reevaluating my own game, I'm just getting rid of things that I feel make things slow things down, or slow your players down too. So with that in mind, I'm looking at that, going, is this entertaining to watch? If not, why? Is it pacing? Just things to reconsider is, especially when it's yourself, you guys out there trying to do a stream, is whether or not the game style, the game system itself matches the game style that you want. Is your mechanics in the game, is it more board gamey? Is this why it's taking you so long to like go down a hallway and get through a couple of monsters, and this takes you like 3-4 hours to do? There, and when you think about it, if this was done in a theater of the mind kind of respect, you're not getting concerned about a lot of that nitty gritty stuff of moving the 5-foot squares each time and waiting for everybody else's turn. In theater of the mind, you're proceeding. You're you say that you're proceeding forwards, and the game master can gauge as soon as you come up to a spot where there's another trap. He tells you to roll. And so the person that's up ahead rolls a d20 or whatever it is that they need to, mechanics wise. They do the roll. Game master goes ahead and says, hey, you see something ahead. It's a little suspicious if you rolled really good. If not, you just keep on going, but you're kind of like, maybe something's up ahead. Or sometimes the game master doesn't tell you why you got to roll. So that can also be considered. I prefer not to let out too much information about why a person is rolling. So, and to have access to the sheets at the time with your virtual tabletop is key in that. So remember that when you're a game master, to have those sheets at hand so you can look at them. You don't see the sheets in my game because they're hiding behind in the background. I have on OBS, I've got all the players decked out in their little area, like me and Spencer and Gord and Josh. We're all on one area on the screen as you see it, but behind that, what you don't see is I'm looking at their character sheets. So I have the character sheets lined up. I also have the a combat tracker, but I'm not using the combat tracker to generate for the enemies or anything like that. I just have a general what's called a blank NPC, which is loaded with a bunch of damage weapons and stuff like that, so that it makes it a little easier for me to just slide a target line to the player in question and then hit the damage. And that seems to work not too bad. Also, you can, if you wanted to, you can alter the character sheet, create the damage if you wish. So, and when you think about that, you might also want to consider whether or not your system has predestined damage or if it's randomly rolled damage, because every roll that you're making adds time to the entire game experience. So whether or not you want it to flow faster or be slowed down by these little mechanical rolls that you have to do all the time, it's entirely up to you. You can kind of look back at your stream and gauge, how it's progressing and whether or not you want to somehow streamline something in that aspect of the game in order to make it more watchable. So, so you'd want to think about game systems that have less or sometimes more roles. It's entirely up to your group. They may prefer rolling a lot more. They may prefer rolling less, involving more role play. And that's another thing is mechanics or role playing. So mechanics, the mechanics end is not the role playing end. The role playing is separately. Role playing is your players being in character. It's not them rolling dice as the player. Okay, that's not role playing. And it's not the out of character questions back and forth, question answer session. I've been trying, we're not perfect as gamers in our group, but we try to cut that back as much as possible. And I try to tell the players a little bit ahead of time, okay, going into this session, because a few of them have been playing like other games and everything. So they got their mindset on the way that they play in their other games with other people. But in my game, I would like them to kind of keep themselves in character all the way through the session. So it doesn't mean that they have to talk with a character voice or whatever. It's just that every question posed is through the action of their character. They're asking through their character, as their character, not as Jim or Jack at the table saying, can my character do this? Is it possible? Everything is possible. It's just you as the game master have to tell them that, yeah, everything is possible. They just have to roll for it, see if it happens. It could be impossible to do. You would let them know, hey, it's going to be nearly impossible to do this. It's a very far distance away. You don't think that you can do this. However, there is a slight chance that you could possibly pull it off. And wording it like that would make them consider, hey, maybe I shouldn't do this, or maybe I should, but apply a little extra boost to it. It depends on how the mechanics go in the game. Um, in Cipher system, you can lower the odds by applying certain things, or having your fellow players in their characters aid you in some way if they can. So in other games like D&D, you don't really have that. It's, sure, you could aid them through a spell or whatever. That could happen as well. That you might have some sort of thing up your sleeve where you can do that as players. So that's basically why I kind of look at other games and kind of pick out things that I can use, myself, and write notes down, say, hey, this is a good idea. Maybe I should try this. And then there's other ones where I definitely know I wouldn't want to do that because watching it is so horribly boring that I can't handle it. I have to point everybody towards Red Moon Roleplaying. Awesome group. But it's not my kind of thing. They're really good role players, like really good back and forth, talking to each other and in character, and it's very well fitted that way. The problem is there's not enough action for me, so it's a rather dry, boring go through session where I have to like turn on something else because it's just not appealing to me because I like action. I like action happening. I like to have my games more like action adventure movies, not a soap opera. But you can have a little soapy this and that in there. It's just not all the time. My soapy parts are maybe about 5 minutes long at the most, not a full half hour of just dribble back and forth between two characters, pondering thoughts and versing their ideas to each other, and blah 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 blah. I just can't handle it. Sorry, but like I say, Red Moon role players, awesome bunch, and it's something that I listen to in order to get ideas off of them, and see how it can work with my current group of players. And sorry, it's dry here, very dry. But that's that's what I need to get kind of off my chest here today, and in my GM diary. And I don't know, you guys, are all watching other role playing games and stuff. You see how things are going with some groups. Some groups are very intensive in their mechanics. Some of them take forever just to resolve just something very simple. Others take no time at all, but that's very far few in between. Most of the games I see online end up being Q&A questions with out of character talk, and it's a lot of mechanics, talking about mechanics, wondering if they can or can't do something, um, trying to clarify things. It's okay to clarify stuff as long as you do it within the voice of your character and not just blatantly, game master, can I do this? Does it seem that this might be possible? No, you definitely have to ask through your character. Like, say you're playing a character called Jonathan Winter. So Jonathan Winter looks ahead and ponders whether or not he is able to scale that wall. Game master can go ahead and reply and give him the adequate response of, it looks moderately possible to do so. So the player has an idea now. Oh, it's not going to be quite a cakewalk, but I've got some skills. Maybe I can do this. And then let them roll. That's basically it. That's the a lot of people think it's some sort of LARPing or something like that. No, it's just simply asking questions through your character, and that's the important part. That's what gets the players and whoever's watching it more involved into it, because it doesn't sound like just a bunch of guys trying to um, pull off a session with a lot of out of character chat. The more you stay in character, the more I need to get another. My cup is almost empty. It is actually empty. Need to get a drink. But yeah, I'm also looking here at RPG Elite and watching his sessions. I see he does do the what do you do as a game master. So, and that's one of the things I'm trying not to do is ask what do you do. That's why in some of my game sessions you'll have a little bit of an awkward pause, because they're still thinking that they're back playing the old way, and they're forgetting, oh yeah, we can do what we want. We have to tell me what they want to do. It's because otherwise, if you're not saying what you're doing, you are doing nothing. Yeah, you're just kind of standing there going, so they have to bring that back into their heads and think, oh, okay, now I remember, we got to do this. So I don't blame him at all. I know it's such a jarring experience to try to get back into that kind of fundamentals of actual role playing, but it takes its time, and with players continuously coming back, and if I keep on telling him, remember, you have to say what you're going to do. You can't just when I stop talking, come in and say what your next action is. Whoever speaks first, that's your turn. I'm not going to make everybody roll initiative to see who goes first. Whoever says that they are taking part in an activity, action, voicing something in their character, they're on. That's their turn. It's what they're doing. And yeah, and hopefully within a few more months of this, we should be getting down pretty good with how our sessions go. And that's the challenge, is keeping up on it, and keeping that role playing mindset in it. So, anyways, I've taken up enough of your time at 20 minutes, and I thank you guys all for popping in. I've had a lot of new subscribers, so I thank you guys also for coming in and subscribing and checking things out. I hope you learn something along with me. And like these GM diaries that I'm putting out is just, it's me having my thoughts and ideas explained, the reasons why I'm doing certain things, and why my sessions are going to a different direction. And for me, I have to have them, they have to be action oriented in order to keep the flow of the game going, and to keep you as the viewers more engaged. I don't want to have a big, massive, like a session of just a shopping spree, and the players are trying to figure out how much a donkey costs, or bartering. Bartering's not too bad. At least it's in character or something. This is something that you can play out. And if they do shopping and stuff like that, it is going to be where they are talking in character. And if they're going to barter, they're going to have to actually voice that out. However, I don't like my games devolving into stuff that you wouldn't see in a movie. Like, for instance, you wouldn't see the people in the movie going to the washroom unless there was supposed to be a scene in the washroom where maybe there's perhaps an attack or some sort of altercation between maybe the good guys and the bad guys, or something, or maybe it has something key to do with them going to the washroom, coming out, and suddenly everything's changed in the outside of the washroom. Something happened. Everybody got mowed down by machine gun fire, and you were just thinking that you heard firecrackers while you were in the bathroom. So stuff like that. But try to cut back on a lot of that stuff that you don't see in a movie. Helps. And that's where I'm trying to get at with my game, is to make it entertaining enough for people to come back and be excited to see what happens next with these crazy characters in this situation. But anyways, thank you all for showing up. And like I say, the new guys, whoever you are, thank you very much for joining up and the subscriptions. And for you who are just tuning in, if you want to, feel free. Subscribe. Subscribe, I tell you. Subscribe.